Thanks so much for joining us today. I'm sorry we're a little bit delayed in getting started with our Google Plus Hangout. We're here today. We're very excited to have Secretary Solis, the Secretary of Labor, joining us today. So she's going to kick things off and talk a little bit about the Summer Jobs Plus initiative here that's part of the Obama administration's effort to avoid this summer. So Secretary Solis, I'll just turn it over to you to talk a little bit about that initiative, and then we'll introduce the rest of our panel.
Great. Thank you all for joining us. And I'm so delighted to see that we have so many people around the country joining us on this special discussion and topic that I know is very dear to so many people. It's the Summer Jobs Plus initiative, and it is something that the President and the Department of Labor and many partners have come about to help promote the employment of summer youth, especially now with the rates of unemployment so high right now for young people between the ages of 16 and 24. It is unacceptable. One of the things that we've begun to discuss here is the need to get some private corporations, nonprofit, community-based groups, colleges, universities to help us provide slots, job slots this summer. And already through our initiative, we have about 300,000 slots open. 90,000 of those are paid positions. The other are for mentoring and for tutoring and job coaching and job shadowing. And we want more of our partners who we're going to hear from, including Jamba Juice and others that have been working with us, to explain how that works, but also to hear from some of our panelists, some of the young people that are here. And this is really unique because there probably are many people around this country, you'd be surprised, even our president and some of his top cabinet officials, when you ask them what their first job, their first summer job was, they'll tell you. And like myself, my first summer job was a recreational aide. And I actually got to deliver lunches, school lunches, for children that came into the recreational setting. We also got to supervise them, teach them on trips. And I learned a lot about how important it was to show up to work, to fall under responsibility of someone else, your supervisor, but also how important it was that people looked up to me. And it was great that I had my own paycheck. So it really gave me a sense of, looking ahead of what I could do on my own. And for many young people, this is the first opportunity, work experience that they have to go out, get their foot in the door, but also learn from other people. And what we're finding is that even though there's gridlock in the Congress, the president is saying, we're not going to wait. We're going to step up and we're going to create these slots. And that's why it's so important for people to go online, here at DOL and even on the White House .gov website. You can download a lot of this information. We want to make sure that employers can post their information. We also want to know that students around the country can go online and find out what jobs exist in their cities and their communities. So I'm really excited, and I'm just very pleased that all of you are on board with us, because every one of you has a unique story to tell. So thank you so much.
Great. Well, thank you very much, Secretary Solis. So I think we're just going to go around quickly and have other folks who are with us here in the Hangout introduce themselves. And we'll start with Gail Marie in Columbus, Ohio. If you want to quickly introduce yourself and talk a little bit about the work that you're doing
Well,
this summer.
hello, and thank you so much for letting us participate in this. I'm Gail Marie Harris, Director of Youth Workforce Services for the Central Ohio Workforce Investment Corporation, also known as COWIC. And we're partnering with the City of Columbus, Franklin County, and the employer community in order to bring approximately 1,600 opportunities to young people 16 to 24 years of age in Central Ohio. I think it's very important that we focus on our emerging workforce, as we're concerned about the non-discussion at the federal level and with our state in not dealing with youth issues directly. And we've got to keep this in the forefront. But we have some 1,100 positions already identified. We've already had one major or large expo at the Veterans Memorial Auditorium in Columbus, Ohio, where we had over 500 young people attend the expo, and was able to connect them with some 40 different employers who have more than 1,100 openings for summer. Some of these positions are not just internships, but they entail seasonal, temporary, and permanent jobs. So we're real interested in continuing our work with the Department of Labor and the national effort for the Summer Jobs Plus initiative. We're very excited about the colleges and universities that are working with us, who really provide excellent opportunity to expose young people to academic education and campus life, in addition to the summer work that they're going to acquire.
Great, thanks so much. And Kathy at Jamba Juice, if you wanted to just quickly introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about what Jamba Juice is doing this summer.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for the invitation. I'm the Vice President of Human Resources, and we're out here in Emeryville, California. And so we spent some time in Washington, D.C. earlier this year with the President and Hilda Solis about the trying to solve the problem about summer hiring. And so we made a larger commitment to 2,500 jobs throughout the country. We have 750 stores throughout the U.S., and we launched that with a National Hiring Day on March the 27th. And so we interviewed over 6,000 employees or potential candidates throughout the country. So we're working through that process, and we've hired over 1,000 through our whole system of those 6,000 applicants. So we're really excited about the partnership we have. We further partnered with the Job Corps, which we have a local Job Corps here at Treasure Island, which was really very advantageous for us. They have a culinary academy, and it was really a win-win partnership for us. So we tried to set up those 80 locations throughout the country for our National Hiring Day that was close to Job Corps locations to help, pull from those students, since the students attending the Job Corps are in that age group 16 to 24 and really need an opportunity for a summer job and an opportunity just to learn and have some experiences. And in addition to that, we've committed to some interns from the Culinary Academy at the Job Corps as well. So we are working with our second intern starting next week, and we're just very excited about the students and what they bring to the table, and it's been very exciting for us.
Wonderful. Thank you for giving a plug for Job Corps. That's a DOL-sponsored program around the country. There's 124 centers, so we want students to listen up. Contact them too if you want to get enrolled in Job Corps. But Jamba Juice, thank you for standing up again this year to help us out.
Absolutely.
Welcome. Thank you.
So George, with the Latin American Youth Center, if you want to just tell us a little bit about sort of your summer job experience. I know you have a little bit of a different perspective than some of the other folks. That'd be great.
Hi, everyone. Again, I'm speaking on behalf of Latin American Youth Center. The thing about it is, I used to be a former participant, now current staff member there, so I can relate to the youth and the staff alike. But what I find important about this initiative is how it can relate to education as well, because in my experience, I learned how to be selfless in that regard, and the higher appreciation of education, the value of money, and how I can relate to other people and develop interpersonal skills. But also, what I found is, how is it valuable in gaining a position in terms of what you want to pursue? What's so important about it, and how is my experience valuable to, say, universities or employers alike? I mean, they pretty much want someone that is great in communicating, have amazing writing abilities, are problem solvers, and are ambitious. But honestly, for me, it's also how you can relate that to others and how you can grow as a person. Because I don't feel like that's just something I have to do. I feel like it's an obligation for all of us here in terms of LAYC to better ourselves, to better everyone around us, our community. I mean, Latin American Youth Center helped me to find that within myself, to grow as a youth and becoming an adult. I mean, also the fact that we're surrounded by important mentors to help us find that within ourselves, even if we can't find or struggle with that. I mean, in hindsight, I didn't realize that. I thought it was just all about the wage, nothing more. But now, as an adult, I feel that's how important it is. Not just having a great experience, but also finding a marketable skill set that you can grow on as well.
Great, thanks so much.
Thank you.
And we also got Monica, who's out in California. I know that you sort of helped us with the Summer Jobs Plus Jobs Bank, which is a great resource for young people. If you want to talk a little bit about sort of your role and the app that you created that young people can use on Facebook, that'd be great.
Yeah, hi everybody. My name is Monica Wilkinson, and I'm a developer advocate for Cloud Foundry, which is a project from VMware. It's an open source project. And I was super excited to get contacted by your team and be able to build a Facebook app. And not only that, it was wonderful to be able to work with one of my future interns that is coming on the program. So VMware is participating in the Summer Jobs Initiative. We have a lot of internships available. Please check them out. But it was really exciting to see that the Department of Labor had an API that we could actually get a hold of the same day and start working on building an app to help promote the jobs even further. So the name of my intern that's coming on board next week is Maggie, and he was super excited, told his friends in his college, and they started checking out the app and spreading viral. So please, I recommend to everybody to, you know, don't think it's anything hard. You can work with the API and you can help promote this, and you're doing something very, very important for all Americans. So I'm just super excited. The app is on Facebook. I'll share the link via Twitter, but I just want to reinforce how easy it was to work with that and what an important cause it is. And for employers to mark up your jobs with the appropriate format, it's very easy. It'll take like an hour to do. So great initiative, and thank you.
Thank you, Monica. How exciting. And to your new intern, congratulations.
Awesome.
And then last but certainly not least, we have Mike from Southwire. If you want to talk a little bit about sort of what your company is doing to help bring youth on board this summer.
Good afternoon, everybody. Secretary Solis, thank you so much for sponsoring this, and we're deeply appreciative of being a participant. Our program actually started about 5 years ago, and it was just a great modification of our commitment to education, which is forever in our company. And we started 12 for Life when we all of a sudden discovered that the dropout rate in our community was just horrendous, and we needed to do something about it. As we looked around, we also realized that if we're going to continue to be a manufacturer, heavy manufacturer, in our own hometown, that we had to have a qualified and efficient workforce and a pool of talent from which to gather that workforce on a go-forward basis. So after a lot of work, a lot of give and take with our community schools, Carroll County school system, we developed the blueprint for 12 for Life. And it is today very, very successful. In 5 years, we've had 304 kids get a high school education. Next week is our 2012 graduation, and we believe we'll have 129 additional graduates who will cross that stage and get that diploma next week, which is incredibly exciting to us. Beyond that, initially, as I've said, our intent was to do something to build a workforce for the future, because our business is heavy manufacturing. We make wire and cable. The wires and the cables that you see on the big towers or that come to your light switch inside your home, and everything in between. And it's heavy manufacturing. And we absolutely have to have a skilled workforce. And so 12 for Life has been a piece of that effort, a piece of that initiative. It's expanded from our Carrollton, Georgia headquarters. We have our second operation, which is 100% Southwire. It's over in Florence, Alabama, where we have another operation. And now we are incredibly excited that the state of Georgia has joined us, and there's 2 small 12 for Life operations, one with the Department of Community Affairs in Atlanta, and another with the Department of Corrections down in Forsyth, Georgia. So the first non-Southwire 12 for Life operations, they of course are admin sort of functions. And our intent is to prove that it works, whether you're heavy manufacturing or in an office environment, 12 for Life works. As far as the summer jobs program, it's not, we're not exactly the same as many of you, but because we're now embarking upon phase 2 of 12 for Life in Carrollton, we saw an opportunity to add jobs, different kinds of jobs perhaps, and we made that commitment to the White House, and we're happy to announce today we have met that commitment. And we look forward to continued success, continued involvement, and doing something about not only the dropout rate, but the preparation of the workforce for tomorrow. We're glad to be here.
Wow, thank you. That's tremendous. I just can't thank you enough for explaining the kind of work that's needed and required by young people these days, especially in manufacturing. I think a lot of young people think that, you know, you can't make a good living and it's somehow not going to help pay the bills, but it does. Manufacturing jobs are some of the best paying jobs that we have in America. And we want young people to understand that these are highly skilled positions and they do require, in some cases, advanced education, but you can get that at a community college or at a training center. And the outcome for us, for our recovery and getting people back to work is so much quicker when we have employers like you who want to work with us and help enlist new people, new blood into this industry. So congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Great, thank you. I know we're running a little bit short on time, but we did get a few questions that came in online before we started the chat. A lot of people were asking, you know, if they're a young person looking for a summer job right now, what would be your advice to them in terms of how to start their job search and what they can do to start to find a job for this summer, or an internship or a mentoring program?
Well, there's a couple of things they could do, but first of all, if you have access to the internet, which you hopefully do, you can go online, dol.gov, Summer Jobs Plus initiative, and just download the information, the location. It'll tell you where, put in information about where you live, your zip code, and it'll tell you exactly what resources are available. But for businesses too, they can go online and attach themselves to our app program, and they can also, every time their screen comes up, there's that app, and they can right away let young people know that they're interested in hiring folks. So I think there's a lot of resources. We also have what we call one-stop centers that exist around the country. There are 3,000 of them. They are free. You go into them. You can also download the information on dol.gov and also get information right away as to the nearest resource center that'll help you find jobs and also help to list them. And then if you need more help, they'll also help you go through some testing. And if you qualify for training, they'll even provide that for you. But there's a lot of opportunities. So don't just stop there. Let's hear from the others. They may have some suggestions too.
Anyone else have thoughts on sort of, if you're a young person looking for a job right now, how you can get started?
Yes, I think, first of all, I would also advise them to come to our One Stop, because it's there that we actually provide work readiness training specifically for our SOAR Hire initiative. And I think it's really important for young people to understand now how important the resume is for their marketability, how important it is to understand that job searching is an online activity, and that many employers in Central Ohio require that you go online and do the resume, do the application, as well as the online assessments. And so we're trying to help young people understand what that process consists of and how important it is for them to do that. We're preparing them through our work readiness training, which is a 3-hour workshop that really gets them into how to navigate a job expo, because that can be very daunting to a young person who's never worked before. And to have 40 different employers available all at one time can be real exciting. And so the work readiness training really gets them prepared for that type of environment, as well as how to deal with looking for work online.
That's great advice. Thank you.
Sure, at
Kathy,
John Matthews. Yes, at
Sure,
John
go ahead.
Matthews, we have the unique opportunity of having entry-level jobs, so there's no experience required. So the training that we provide to our team members that may have never worked before, so this is their first job, we have a unique opportunity to train them, and we take that opportunity very seriously about making sure that they're successful through that training process. So again, please use the URL through dol.gov to find those summer jobs. We have a number of jobs posted there. We'd love to see more candidates come into our stores and start their summer job with us.
That's great. And for any young people listening online right now, dol.gov/summerjob is a great resource. We just launched the new Summer Jobs Plus Bank, which allows you to sort of, as Secretary Solis was saying, type in where you live and what you're interested in, and it'll show sort of job opportunities that are available in your area. So be sure to check it out. Again, it's dol.gov/summerjobs. And you can also find information about some of the great apps that developers have built, including Monica. So be sure to check that out. Another question that we got online from a bunch of different people was, certainly finding a paid summer job is a great opportunity, but I know that the Summer Jobs Plus initiative sort of talks about a wide variety of employment type of opportunities. I don't know if you want to talk a little bit about sort of the unpaid internship or mentorship programs and sort of the important role that can play in helping getting young people ready for a first job or their careers.
Well, I think Jorge kind of hit on some of that as he was explaining how important it is in these summer jobs. Sometimes they're not all paid, and that's true. In fact, I remember having an internship too, but it's very helpful when you have someone else as your job coach and kind of helping to mentor you through the process. So you learn so many different things. You learn to show up for the job. You learn the decorum of the office or on the factory floor, wherever it is you're going to work. You start to learn the procedures and how people interact and networking, and you also learn that there's other resources available. And you'll find that sometimes in that first job, that's going to help empower you, give you a sense of empowerment, but also knowing that you can ask a lot of questions because people don't assume that you know everything, and you don't have to know everything. So it's about learning, it's about giving back, and some mentor and internship programs also give you that educational component. So they'll help you with resume writing, help you fill out applications, they'll help you actually go through job coaching experiences and have you mentor with other people, say in an industry that you're interested in, like engineering. Maybe they'll have you work through different offices so you get exposure during the time you're there on that internship. It could be 6 weeks, it could be 3 months. It just depends on what the program has to offer, but they're wonderful opportunities, and it always looks good on your resume that even though it wasn't paid, you took the time to make that sacrifice and to engage yourself. I think any of the employers that are on our panel would say the same thing, that you look to see what the employee may have on their resume, even if it wasn't a paid position, that they're out there looking and they're self-initiating. And all those are very positive factors that right now in such a competitive market, that's what employers want to see. So it is helpful to have those mentorship programs. Right now, we are also listing those online. We have already about 100 and maybe 170, no, not 170, about 150 or so that are listed, and we want to have more. So this is also a call out, a shout out, so to speak, to get more community colleges, community-based organizations, nonprofits, and other industries and businesses who want to list internship and mentorship programs.
That's great. So any of our other employers or other folks on our panel have any thoughts about sort of the importance of internships or mentorship programs?
I very much would like to weigh in on that thing because we certainly recognize all the issues that were just addressed or just brought up. 12 for Life is indeed unique in that it's not just jobs somewhere. It's an entire manufacturing plant constructed and designed and staffed exclusively by high school kids. So they are mentored. The only employees there, other than supervision, are high school kids. At the same time, Southwire professionals act as mentors to the kids. There are classrooms there, there are computer systems there, and we teach life skills. We do summer schools there. We tutor kids, and they truly experience life skills development in addition to.
I think we may have lost Mike. It looks like he's got a little bit cut off, but clearly very important information about sort of the importance of a variety of different employment type opportunities.
I would like to weigh in on that.
Great. Sure, go ahead.
I think one of the things that we teach our young people is that an internship, paid or otherwise, is a long interview. Here's an opportunity for them to make an impact in order to get an unsubsidized job, possibly. It provides exposure to a particular company and or an industry. It helps them develop a network of individuals that they can use for references or even a mentor. And it helps them align their personal goals, whether it be education, job, career, or educational goals that they can utilize as a result of the experience. So unpaid internships give a great opportunity for a young person to be exposed and to get some answers to questions that they may not otherwise be able to obtain outside of a company.
That's
Great,
great.
yeah. And like one additional comment is that in addition to unpaid internships, there are plenty of opportunities to get training, go to boot camps. There are always free sessions, especially in California, where they will, for example, my company will train you for a day on certain skills. And most of the code is open source, so anybody can join for free, play with the code, write some extra code, and it's a big meritocracy. So as you learn, you can contribute, and people see your contributions, and it builds a resume for you. So,
Very
you
cool.
know, look for resources online as well, and resources near you.
That's great.
Uh, Excuse me, I'm coming on this. If you don't mind, anyone,
Yeah,
if anyone don't
of
mind.
course.
I mean, I directed my time towards something positive instead of just, let's say, doing something foolish, like messing around with a gang, or just, doing something inappropriate. I could be doing something better with my time. I mean, that's what it's done, because I had all these temptations. I had all the other things I could have done with my time, yet this is what I chose to do. And I think that's what's important about it.
Good.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
And
Well,
you're
that's all great advice. We really appreciate you guys all chiming in on that. I know Secretary Solis has to run in a few minutes, so we just want to try to wrap things up now. I don't know if you have any sort of closing remarks or anything else you wanted to say.
just to reiterate that we want everyone to go online, dol.gov/summer jobs, and we want our businesses to also join us. But there's so much more to learn. I mean, we have so many other applications available at DOL on other sites as well. Like one that I want to mention, I think is really good for young people, is myskillsmyfuture.org, myskillsmyfuture.org. And that'll help you plan out the rest of what you want to do even after summer, because we want to make sure that learning is lifelong and that your experiences are valued and that there are people out there that want to help you. So again, I want to thank this administration, the President, Barack Obama, who has just been outstanding in helping us push this initiative, and all of our partners out there, and especially to the people that are helping to facilitate this: Facebook, Google, YouTube, everybody, and of course the White House. So again, thank you, and I salute all of you. Congratulations.
Great. Well, thank you so much. And I think with that, we'll probably end our Hangout today. Thanks so much for joining us. And for those of you who are just joining us, the full video of this will be available on whitehouse.gov later today. Thanks again. Have a good day.
Bye.